Hey there, whiskey fans. Welcome back to Whiskey Minute with the Highlander. In this part of the Whiskey Del Bac Distillery tour, Mark and I are going to take those grains that are now smoked and ready and go to the next part of the process involving mash tun.
We've done all this hard work. We've created this malt. We've brought this malt in, and now we're going to make a beer. You know, a lot of people, for people who've never been on distillery tours, it's one of my favorite mind-blowing moments. Is when you tell them every single spirit starts out as either beer or wine,
Right.
because it's that fermentation, you know, that's creating that ethanol that we're going to concentrate in distillation. And so we have two main mash bills. We have what we call our US, which is our unsmoked. That goes into our classic and some of our other special releases. And then we have what we call our MS, or our mesquite smoked.
Right.
That's what goes on to become the Dorado, our Ode to Isla, some of our other heavier smoked options.
Oh.
So we store all those in the grain silos behind us. We're going to do the math. We're going to figure out how much we need for each one, depending on what mash bill we're using. And because we are an American single malt, like you say, that means we are doing malted barley. It's
Right.
the only grain we use. We have 4 ingredients. We've got malted barley, yeast, water, and the barrel.
Right.
Those are
We're
the 4
meeting
things.
the definition of Scotch and missing the one part of born in Scotland.
Oh, but then we will break with that Scottish tradition a couple of times. So we always like to say we're inspired by it, but then again, trying to create that thing that is very unique to being here in the Sonoran Desert. And so we have a roller mill, which, if you're familiar with American production, you tend to have a hammer mill, and you do
Right.
what's called on-grain fermentation, on-grain distillation.
Right.
That means that all of that grain that you're using goes through the process into the fermenter, from there into the still until that initial stripping run, and it goes down the drain or goes out to a farmer.
Right.
For us, we're doing the Scottish model. We're grinding it in a roller mill, and it's coming into our mash tun, which has a false bottom on it. Which means when we create this basic sugar water, all of that grain is being left behind. That cooked grain, though, still has a lot of nutritional value, so we do actually give that to a local hog farmer. That grain then goes to feed his hogs.
Excellent.
We
Gonna
do,
keep it green.
yeah, we try to. We try to do, especially, you know, being out here in the desert, we got to be very conscientious of the resources that we're using.
Sure.
All of our products. We're just trying to make sure as little goes to waste as possibly can.
Yeah, that's grand.
We actually mash it a little bit warmer than some people. We try to hit around 155, 156 degrees for our mash temperature. That's
Okay.
going to draw some of those tannins out of
Right.
that hull of the barley.
Yeah.
We then use a simple little plate chiller that cools that wort down, and then we're going to pitch that yeast directly into our fermenter. We're also utilizing a very specific strain of yeast that has been bred for 100% malt mashes, and it is also specifically bred to handle really intense temperatures. We have equipment break down here all the time.
Sure.
So it's not unusual for that fermentation to get above 90, 94, 95 degrees. We have a yeast strain that can handle really aggressive temperatures.
Can you tell us which strain that is?
Oh yeah, it is actually Lallemand Craft Distilling. It's their what they call the Distillamax MW for malt whiskey. So really, really high quality. I would love for us to eventually, you know, propagate our own yeast. We're just
Sure.
not really set up for it right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's really high quality product though that Lallemand puts out.
And then, who's the lad here with the wee pig?
This is Rod. He is our farmer. He is the one who takes our spent grain after we mash out and feeds it to his pigs.
Excellent.
And we'll occasionally have people go, oh, drunk pigs. Well, because we do off-grain fermentation, this never ferments. This
Right.
is just very sweet, protein-rich malted barley.
It's just a delicious meal for the little bacon pigs.
Exactly. For our fermentation, I didn't know if we wanted to walk down the fermentation alley.
Yeah, we're going to catch that on the next part.
Okay, wonderful.
Folks, thanks again for coming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Till next time, Highlander and Mark signing off with a Slán Java.